something like 50 yards or something. He will travel very fast. One eye, one-eyed person. Does he have one eye? Meaning, he only thinks of worldly things and he has no spirituality? Does that mean? So, what is he implying? He has given a very detailed explanation and description of Dajjal. Now, that does not fit on a human being. If it is a human being, a person with one eye, it looks like an evil or something like that, like an alien or something, not a human being. So many people believe, many of the scholars now believe that it may not be a human being. He is giving the concept of a mentality. So it is not one person, it is a mentality that will spread on earth. People who will only be materialistic, who will only be very worldly people. And the time of Dajjal is before the Messiah, the Messiah comes, and Jesus will come and shoot him. Now that makes it look as if it is a person, or will he kill that mentality and that thought, because he will say to them, no, it is wrong, that mentality is wrong, or materialism is wrong, and people will accept his word. So it is difficult to say what it is. Many people say, the dollar has one eye, the television is one eye, the dish. I'm very skeptical of all of those explanations. It is probably a mentality, because many traditions do use the word Dajjaliyun, not just one person, the followers of Dajjal, So that whole concept probably makes it as if it is a thought and a mentality, a materialistic mentality, which is very anti-religion and anti-faith. I hope I... Yes.
Yeah, next question by...
Thank you.
Professor.
Thank you.
Please, if you could speak a bit louder, because I'm afraid the microphone we got is not working. Thank you.
I'm used to speak loudly, so
that's all right.
I'm Adi Sharif, I'm an academic here at the university. A very interesting subject, very interesting topic, obviously. As far as Iraq, I just would like to elaborate. I hope you had enough killing in Iraq, so I hope there will be no more. The point, actually, there are a number of points on this subject. One of which is that, as a question, actually, why it has taken 1400 years after the Prophet, or nearly 2000 years after the rising of Jesus, for this to happen, what is happening now and the next years to come. The second point actually is that in terms of the agreement of those signs, what we're experiencing now, the question actually which is most relevant is that what our role, what the believer's role in that sort of situation, and that's for example that's a second point. And the third one, which is important actually, and there are a lot of signs which is not addressed here. One of the requirements for another question actually, why the world has to come to an end. And the fourth question probably the same.
If I will remember all of them.
if you don't mind, actually, is that surely, the world is moving towards a one-world system. In terms of education, in terms of financial, in terms of various forms, and that's obviously consistent with the concept of having a one-world leader. So if you could elaborate on this point.
Okay, I will try and remember the questions. And if I forget, then you'll remind me. Now, as far as the first concept is concerned, why has it come this long? Why is it 2000 years, for example, after Jesus, or probably 1400 years after the Prophet, that we are now talking about the Messiah? Now, when they both, or all the messengers, when prophets from God, when they were coming, Adam, Noah, Abraham, and when they were all coming, they were saying that we are giving you the good tidings of the things that will happen after us. So Abraham said that, there will be a time after me. This will happen, the evil will come, and then, the goodness will come. So it took a bit of time. It wasn't just because we read them, one after the other in a chapter. It seems that they happened a few years after each other. Many times, for example, Joseph said to his children that after me, evil kings will come, and 300 years or 400 years after me, he doesn't give exact time, but it takes about 450 years that Moses comes and releases the people from the pharaohs. Then comes the time of Jesus, and he says that after me will, this will happen. Now, the Holy Prophet likewise, he said that after me, the things will, the things will go wrong, and my final successor will come. He will have two occultations, a minor occultation and a major occultation, and when he comes back, he will fill the earth with peace and justice, like it will be filled with tyranny and oppression before him. So we were all, and people in his time and people after him, were mentally prepared that there will be some time for bad, there will be bad times, and then there will come a good time. But why does it go to occultation? Because God sends good people, and when we do not value them and we have them killed, and people kill them, and we do not protect them, then God says that, look, I did not send them to be killed. And when you do not protect them, then until you deserve them, you prepare yourselves to have them around you, I will not send them. So the Messiah will come when we are all prepared for him. Because he comes as a leader. The Messiah is not there to be killed. He is there to be protected and saved.
So can I just, on this point actually, is it we are psychologically or physically?
Both. We respect him, we honor him, we follow him. He is to be followed. And not only just to be followed, but before the Messiah, the knowledge will be only 2. The ratio of knowledge before and after, it will be 2 to 27. These are the words of the Prophet. So before the Messiah, the knowledge will be only, 2, and after the Messiah will be 27. People will make contact with the outside world. They will discover the things on earth and outside that they will never even have thought of. So the things that we are all now just in the books, they will happen. He will make them happen because of the belief of the people, because of the practice and faith of the people. The things will happen. So we need to, this is the age of science, the age of science and technology. So he will come and develop everything further. The second question I've forgotten already.
Obviously you answered partly about the role of the believers.
Yes. Yes. Now, as far as the believers are concerned, people who they need to themselves hold on to their faith. But one of the signs about the believers is that many of them will start to disbelieve. I do not wish to mention in detail what will happen, but their role will be to hold on to their faith and continuously practice. Do not give up like other people. Oh, well, no one does good, then why should I? Why should I be good when no one else is good? So do not become evil and hold on to your faith and continuously be good. So do not leave your faith and spread the message to the other people. That is one of the things for the globalization. The final point I do remember. Now globalization and the world has become a global village. It will become a global village that the traditions mention. The prophecies are on the last of the times that when he comes, the people will be able to do everything about the human life. They will be able to create a human. By God, these are the words. Even in the 80s when people were reading these words, the cloning and the things had not happened, people are thinking, how will that happen? Medical science will go so far. I remember as a child in the 80s that people were talking about these things, that human beings will be able to create another human. They will be able to cure any illness before he comes. But they will not be able to give life to the dead. And when he comes, he will even give life to the dead. And he will say, whoever he wants, he will tell them to rise, and they will rise back to life. So people, a person living in the East will be able to see and talk to the person living in the West without traveling. People did not accept and understand that in the 14th centuries back. But the Prophet said these things, that when the Messiah comes, people will be able to do that. Now, was it just, before the time, and is it talking about the technology today, or is it going to be even more advanced than this? It will be surely more advanced than this, I believe. So, the times when the Messiah comes, they say there are traditions that people who believe and once they die, they will say, well, I did not think that after death there will be so much good. I used to fear death. So I'm pleased that actually I am dead because I'm given all of these bounties and blessings in the grave. But when the Messiah comes, even the people, believers in the graves will say, if I had ever a life, I wish I had life in his government, that I could actually experience everything perfectly, the peace and justice that people will see. Yes.
The last one is why the world has to come to an end.